It's tough sometimes when people have all these preconceived notions of how you're going to be because you're from the U.S. and then you get somewhere and you want to share the experiences from the U.S. and they are exactly what people think they're going to be. Like, for instance, in Texas, I don't know if any of you have been to Texas, but if you haven't been to Texas and you've seen a movie about Texas, you've basically been to Texas. Every single movie is like a documentary. The place is insane. Just so you know, you're like, oh, I've never been. It's like, well, did you watch a couple of Westerns? Because it is still kind of like that. And there was a person in Texas who was very concerned. They put out a whole alert. This thing went viral because they lost their giraffe. No, you heard me right. They were asking everybody online to help them find their giraffe. Here's the thing. I'll help you look for a cat. A cat is no problem, because a cat, if you came to me and you were like, my cat's missing, help me find my cat. Oh, he snuggles underneath me at night and rubs the top of his head on my chin, just makes me feel like life is worth living. I don't know what I'm going to do without my cat. I'm like, you had me at cat. I'll help you look. And I've helped friends look for their cats before. And cats are very hard to find when they don't want to be found, which seems to be most of the time. I have friends with cats who are not missing, but you wouldn't know it from visiting their house. I stayed with a friend one time. I was there for 1 week. I never saw this cat, and I never brought it up because I saw all the cat stuff. You know, like when you get a cat, you gotta buy furniture so the cat thinks it's tearing up your real furniture? Like, you have a couch, but you need a fake couch for the cat to be like, yeah, what do you think of this? Like, cats, look, I already said I'd help look for the cat, so just give me a little bit of leeway. But the cat is one of the wildest animals that we buy stuff around for it to destroy, instead of just being like, hey, if you want to live here, you can't destroy stuff. Like, we never try to make a compromise with the cat. We're just like, oh no, not my real couch. Like, I stayed with them for a week, and I did not see the cat at all, to the point where I actually thought that all the stuff, all the cat toys and all the cat furniture and the picture of the cat on the wall was all, you know, to commemorate. You gotta understand, there were times where I was there the whole day where I didn't leave. I didn't even see the cat in the corner of my eye. So I was positive this cat was dead. I was sure this cat was dead. And then, you know, he's like, oh yeah, he's just been in my room. And I'm like, for a week? This is crazy. I'll help you look for a cat. I'll help you look for a dog, especially a dog. Because when dogs go missing, they often don't even mean to. They really don't. Like a dog will go missing on a night where there's like fireworks because the dog thought it was the end of the world. Like, we need to figure out a way to communicate to a dog that the fireworks is a celebration. You should be happy. It's like doggy treats in the sky for us. But instead, we just create bombs in the sky and expect the dog to just chill. His hearing is 100 times better than we could ever imagine to hear. So he didn't just hear the firework explode. He heard its emotions. Like, he heard the firework like, oh! Like, that's what a dog hears. And then we're all like, he's fine. He'll be fine. They'll be over soon. And the dog is like, why is no one else freaking out right now? Y'all have no sense of urgency. If you lose your giraffe, I'm going to ask you when you became so irresponsible. But if a giraffe wants to leave you, it doesn't love you. Like, it doesn't want to be with you. A giraffe, okay, because we all know what a giraffe is. So obviously easy to spot. You would think hard to lose. You would assume hard to lose, because even if the giraffe was trying to get away, even if the giraffe saw a hole in the fence or an area that wasn't fenced or something, and the giraffe got to the point where it's like, okay, let me do it. You would be like, hey, I see you. I see you. Where do you think you're going? I see you. Oh, nothing. I wasn't doing anything. Here's the thing, even a bird. I have friends who have birds, right? And every once in a while, cage is a little too wide open. The bird gets curious. It's used to flying. It's supposed to. Bird maybe flies out of a window it's not supposed to. Now all of a sudden, your bird out there, and it's hard to tell a bird that should be out there from the other birds. It's a very difficult thing to figure out who the Finding Nemo bird is. Because there are some birds that as soon as they get out into the wild, they're like, yes, freedom, bow, like opening the wings, leaning forward, zooming through the air. And then there are some birds you could tell they're like a pet parrot because they just hop the whole time. They don't even try to fly. They're like, that looks exhausting. When is my food being brought to me? Because this wasn't like a zoo. We have plenty of zoo problems in the U.S. We have plenty of enclosures that aren't secure. We have plenty of animals that are like, I wonder what's over there. And then they manage to get out. We'll have whole alerts where there'll be like 12 escaped chimpanzees at one time. And people are like, be on the lookout. It's like, you don't even have to look out. I think you'll notice if a chimpanzee attacks when you leave the grocery store. They had a stay inside order for this one town because there were 3 different monkeys that got loose that they had been experimenting on. And they didn't say what the experiment was. But they were like, hey, just steer clear of them. I was never going to go up and hug. Steer clear is a wild thing to say. Also, what did you do, by the way? This is how every horror movie starts. Every horror movie, it just mixes a lab with an animal that should be experimented on and someone too eager to meet that animal on the outside. And then you got full-on Resident Evil in the real world because somebody was like, hi! That's kind of what we do. We look at nature, as people, we look at nature, and then we decide how we want to manipulate everything towards our end. It's kind of like being here sometimes. Like, whenever I'm here, I can't believe that y'all aren't underwater. Because y'all are underwater. Like, this is below sea level. And then it rained last night. And I was very uncomfortable. I was like, I was in the hotel room the entire time sitting up. Like... I didn't hear any evacuation noises, any alarms, nothing. Y'all sleeping sound, and I'm over here looking out the window like, the boats are coming up a little bit. That's not stressing anybody out. There's sometimes an ownership that we take over the things around us. I can't stop thinking about these Texas ranches that have all these exotic animals, because it's in Texas and Florida. There's like more exotic animals in some places in Texas and Florida than there are in the actual wild. Like, so many people in Florida and Texas have tigers. Oh, you must not have heard me. So many people in Texas and Florida have tigers. The tigers that growl and eat people. It makes sense for like Mike Tyson to have a tiger. Because Mike Tyson is a tiger. You know what I mean? Like, he has a tiger energy, has a tiger spirit. When you're around Mike Tyson and he's upset with you, you're probably as scared as you would be if there was a tiger. But the fact that there are just people in Texas and Florida with tigers in their backyard is so genuinely jarring to me. Maybe y'all are like, oh yeah, it makes sense, you're American or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know what prejudices y'all even have that are probably right. Like, you weirdly don't seem fazed, and I'm positive there's no tigers or giraffes here. The fact that, like, you think I don't know, this is what we've done now. This is what we've done to our image around the world, that I'm telling you a story that is genuinely insane to even the people around, and you're like, yeah, that checks out for you, don't y'all? This is so genuinely aggravating. This is like, I'm bringing you real American United States stories, and you're like, yeah, we guessed that one like a week ago. It's an insane thing to do to me right now, because it's not like I have a giraffe. You know what I mean? Like, it would be different if I was like, I have a giraffe, and you were like, yeah, Josh, you know, and I'd be like, how do you know? But this is just a thing I saw that I'm perplexed by. This is so upsetting. Like, y'all truly have no idea. Someone else has a tiger, someone else has a giraffe. It's not me. I don't know what you, like, I know our news is, like, bad, but the fact that y'all are like, yeah, don't you live outside or something, it's so... I can't see all of you, but I can see some of you. And the genuine, like, the way that your faces haven't been changing the entire time. What is going on here? I know that there are some people here. There are definitely some people here who have been to the U.S. and so you've experienced it. I'm sure that when you experienced it, you experienced something that made you go like, oh no, everything is true. But, yeah, I mean, I didn't know y'all were so judgy. No, it seems, look, it seems fine. At least this time you're, like, right or whatever. Like, I hate when a judgy person is right, by the way. It's one of the most disgusting feelings, because then you do your best over time to get people out of their preconceived notions of people, of places, of just like general attitudes. So then when the thing ends up being right, when you're like, hey, listen, I'm coming to you from the United States, and I'm telling you up front right now that just because there is a persona that we are associated with, and there are policies that we actively are fighting in real time to the best of our ability. Everyone is doing a different thing, and not enough people. I'm not saying it's enough people, but it's something. And you do all of that, and then you actually come with me and you visit Texas, and then as we're leaving the grocery store, a giraffe walks through the street. It's like, that's so unfair. Like, I'm sure someone was visiting. I'm sure someone was visiting because we have the World Cup right now. And the World Cup is in the United States on purpose. And the rest of the world wasn't ready. The rest of the world was not ready to come to the United States and have their lives be put at risk. Not by our shootings, by our portions. The fact that I have seen so many TikToks, so many reels, I've seen so many different things with people being like, you eat this? Like, you eat all of it? Is that... Because I ordered ramen, and you brought a bathtub. I mean, I guess if I had nothing else to live for and I was trying to die tonight, I could die by ramen right now. But I just wanted to taste some of what you have. I didn't know you would bring the entire pot to me. And then we, as U.S. citizens, are like, what are you complaining about? It's extra food. Because I've been eating here, been eating well, and yeah, it is enough. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy to go somewhere and get enough, because it's like they guessed how much I wanted, and then they gave me that exact amount. But I hadn't been to this place yet. How'd y'all know how much I want? Why didn't you bring me a bathtub full and then let me eat as much as I could and then take some home? I don't understand your ways. I can't believe y'all don't go full bathtub first. Because the people have been posting so many different meals that they've had, and you have people from around the world skipping meals because they ate so much. They were like, breakfast was too much. So I'm not hungry again till dinner. And then we watch a video like that as U.S. citizens, and we're like, y'all not even trying to eat. Like, y'all not even trying. You know, like, push through the pain. Like, why are y'all... That's a weak mind to just stop when you full. What is wrong with you? Eat until you can't taste anymore. That's how you get our food. Because I've come over here, I've been eating, and yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't mean weird in a bad way, it's just weird when everything's like the right color and stuff. And then because we haven't traveled, that's a big thing. Y'all travel so much, you're aware of the rest of the world. And we don't really have that as much. We'll travel, as citizens, we'll travel, but to another state, because that's like another country.
Yes.
Like when you go to New York, if I took you to Tennessee right after, you'd be like, oh. Did we go back in time or what? And I'd be like, kinda, yeah. A little bit. But no, I'm struggling here because, yeah, it feels like y'all guessed it. The giraffe, by the way, it's like, I don't even know how much of a pet it was because it was on this ranch, because that's the other thing. People will get these exotic animals, and then some of them make real pets out of the animal, and they'll have a tiger, and they'll be like, oh, he loves me, oh, yeah, and then they'll like feed him through the fence. But then if you look at the tiger is looking, they're looking at the owner like the rest of the meal. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever had a bread bowl? That's how they look at the person that owns them. It's like, oh, you feeding me the soup, but the bread just walking away every day. You know what would go nicely with this raw meat is some other raw meat. No. You'll see an animal like this, it's not like a pet. Like, it wasn't like an emotional support giraffe or anything. Because I'm sure somebody has one, because people make these connections with animals based on like things that I just haven't experienced, you know? There are people who have emotional support, every type of animal. Like, usually it's a dog, sometimes it's a cat, although I feel like cats... I'm not saying they can't be good emotional support animals, it just seems like... Okay, I'm trying to figure out the nicest way to put this, but it just seems like a cat would not give you what you need in that moment. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you were having a really rough time and you were really stressed out, a dog would like get up under you and wag its tail and rub its head and stuff and just be silly and be like panting, and you'd be like, this is exactly what I needed. And I think if you went to a cat with your problems, a cat would be like, this is why he left. You know what I mean? Like a cat. I'm not saying cats don't have hearts and souls and stuff, but just a cat so clearly is where they want to be at all times. I understand developing an emotional attachment to a cat that really seems like it wants to be with you, because you can tell it's making that choice based off how all the other cats act. A bird, I don't know if a bird fully gets what's happening. For emotional support, I mean. Maybe they do. Maybe the bird flies right up to your shoulder and sits on it and then nips at your ear a little bit, and that's all you need. Everything's going to be all right. But I feel like if you told a bird what was going on with you, and I know this isn't how emotional support animals actually work, I'm just throwing it out there, that if you told a bird what was going on with you, it would be like, ah! Like it would just... It wouldn't give you back that thing that you're looking for support. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. I just don't see this giraffe being like a service giraffe either, because service animals have jobs. They have specific functions that they do where they service the person that needs their help. And so they're specially trained and they're there to work. Like when they're out, if someone's at the airport, if someone's like working with their service animal is locked in on how to help them. And I'm not saying giraffes don't have the capacity. I just don't think we've ever utilized them appropriately in that way. Like I think a service giraffe would be really good for like stomping out bullies. Like I think that if you were getting bullied at school and you brought your giraffe and you were like over there, like that's what I'm talking about. I think that's what he would be good at, just like fully clocking. Yeah. But it's tough now. It's tough now because people with money have turned the world into like their petting zoo. You know, like I don't know if you ever went to a petting zoo when you were a kid. It's amazing and slightly terrifying. Because especially when you go to a petting zoo in Louisiana, you don't know if all these animals are actually supposed to be pet. You just know it's a collection of animals that the people that own the petting zoo grabbed and said, yeah. No, I have at it. It never bit me before. It's like, that is not the metric we should be judging by the way. That's insane. I went to a petting zoo when I was a kid and they had a snake. And I was like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, he's not going to do anything. I was like, I know you're supposed to be the expert, sir. But he's not going to do anything. It's not how snakes work at all. Unless this snake has passed, there's no way he's not going to do anything. And they were like, no, you can pet him. And then the whole time they were like, you can pet him. The snake was looking at me like, pet me. Come on. No, pet me. Pet me. Like snakes don't have arms, but it looked like he was really squared up. Like, go ahead. Hey, pet me. Come on. Let's see what happens. And then stuck his tongue out like 7 times real fast. I was like, I feel like he's licking his lips. I feel like this feels like a bad idea. There was a really short miniature donkey that was at a petting zoo that they brought. They had this fair in the city, and they brought this tiny. It was adorable. It was just like if a dog had like a mullet. You know what I mean? Because it's such a tiny donkey, and it had a beautiful flowing. Maybe it was a horse, actually. Now that I think about it, no. Actually, I'm sorry. This is a horse. That's my bad. Okay, so then this miniature horse had like a beautiful mane and everything. And then the kids were walking up to pet it, but there was a gate. And the latch to the gate came loose because there was a person there that was like the attendee for each animal. There was like a person that was supposed to be handling that animal. So the snake guy was like, yeah, do it. And then the donkey guy was just standing there, and he was letting each kid in, opening the gate, and there was another gate over there. So he's opening the gate, walk up, pet, they walk, other person opens the gate. And he had like a little clicker to count how many people were in there with the donkey at one time, but he was only letting one person at a time. So then he just kept clicking and then opening and clicking. And I was like, oh, I don't think you need to, like in my head, I was like, I don't think you need to click if you're just letting one person. It's very easy to count to one, right? But then the latch broke, and there was this overeager kid that busted through the gate, right? And then a bunch of other kids saw him run, so then they started running. And so all these kids started running towards the donkey. And instead of closing the gate, this man just started clicking as many times as he was seeing the kids. And I was like, I don't think you're good at this job. This feels crazy. And then they got up to like the miniature horse. And miniature horse, I'm sure was trained. I don't think this horse did anything wrong, all right? But it did freak out watching a stampede of children coming its way. Everyone was eye level, but the horse was still like, anybody can get it. And it just started kicking as hard as it could. And it kicked 2 kids. And I'm not gonna lie, because they didn't get kicked in the head, it was pretty funny. It was like, Like they both got kicked in like the arm, and so to run away from a miniature horse, like is never not gonna be funny. I don't care if you're 7. Like I was 7 too. And it's funny because you develop phobia sometimes off of things that happen that are traumatic when you're a kid. I'm sure that was pretty traumatic to be so excited to see the horse and the horse whip around and kick you from behind. So it's just, I don't know, it makes me laugh that now there's like a grown man in his 30s. Every time he sees a real horse, he thinks back to the time he tried to hug a mini horse. And the horse was like, I hate you. And as you travel, you get to see how the rest of the world is living. And when you get a glimpse of how the rest of the world is living, it is genuinely amazing. Not just because people's different approaches to life gives you a richer understanding of life. It's also because, like, I come here and I see you on your bicycles, and I know that the health insurance is good because I've seen 10,000 bicycles and 2 helmets. Y'all are fully taking your lives into your own hands, and you feel fine about it. That's crazy. How? So few helmets. Y'all are so fast. Y'all are so when I am walking, I know I'm in the way. I know it's my fault, by the way. Just when I'm walking, right? And I step out into the street and I hear, because y'all have the same one. Y'all don't honk. This is not a city of honking. Ching, ching. Like you all have the bell. Ching. Like, and I've never heard such a whimsical sound threaten so much violence. Because I'll hear like ching, and then I will turn around and someone is so close to me. Someone is so close to me, I'm like, why isn't my light flashing before my eyes? And then the way I'm genuinely, this is props. I'm not making fun. I'm telling you I'm impressed. The way that you lean out of the way. I've seen people seemingly almost touch the ground sideways to lean out of the way of hitting me, and then they don't crash either, because then I think I've caused a crash, and then they just go on about their day. And y'all are so fast that by the time I've reacted, you've left. Like by the time I'm like, oh, you just went around me. And then I want to be a good tourist. So then I'm like, sorry. And y'all don't even hear it because you're that far away. I'm screaming. I'm so sorry. No. I'm sure there's bureaucracy and things move slowly. I'm sure that you have times where you're like, in what world can't we find a better process, you know? But I'm just letting you know. It could be worse. New York is based off of here. That's man. They didn't take the plans that well, did they? Like, they took all the ideas of Amsterdam, and then they're like, but what if we didn't have any alleys at all? And you put all your trash right in the front of the street, and then people don't come get it. No, the people will hate it, but the rats will love it. The rats, nobody eats like a New York rat. You get a taste of the whole world. People come and visit, and they're like, ah! And then the people are like, yeah, we know. I've only seen a mouse since I've been here. I haven't... No, I'm sure that you have rats. I'm just saying your rats have, like, the Christianity to like, actually hide when they see a person. Do you know what I mean? Like, your rats have enough of a moral core that they're like, oh, they're eating, I'll leave them alone. You know what I mean? Like, our rats will run up and see you eating and be like, that looks real good. No, finish. I'll wait. Because that's the freakiest thing, is that, people talk about the Black Plague, right? And how Europe was ravaged by the Black Plague. And we in the U.S. are working on a new one. We're working on, not on purpose. It's just like RFK Jr. is our head of health and human services. And to be fair to him, he does look like he'll survive everything. He does genuinely seem like no matter what you throw at him, he'll be like, delicious. But yeah, we have a real problem in New York because our rats are getting smarter. They're getting much, much smarter. And we don't know what to do about that. Because we were already trying to kill them off. We were already like, hey, look, it's cheese. Look at the cheese. Don't mind the spring-loaded step. And they've already figured out, no, I'm not going to go for that. So if you set up an old-school rat trap, most rats won't fall for it. So then we made the new rat trap, which is basically, here is the treat inside of the little box. This box was also invented so you didn't have to look at them, because then you could just throw away the box. Or you could, dump them out and then set the box up again if you had a lot of rats. And now rats are like, it's a little dark in there. I think I'm good. And now we've run out of ideas, and it is disheartening that we have been to the moon. We literally have what we call artificial intelligence, and we're still like, oh, if they don't go for the cheese, I don't know what to do next.
Hey everybody, we're at Helium Comedy Club in Portland, Oregon. Logan went and got a novelty soda for us to try. So we're gonna have some, see what it's like before I go up.
Oh, okay. Went with red. That's
okay. Ooh, yeah. Oh, this blood. This blood. This was either blood or kidneys.
Or kidneys?
This thing.
Oh wait, no, this does stink.
Bro, my ears ring.
Okay, you alright?
Make some noise for Josh Johnson!
I didn't know that we just wouldn't care anymore. I thought it's weird sometimes, as much news as I read and I watch, that sometimes there's a thing that you think just in your head. Maybe it's because of what matters to you. You're like, oh, this thing, this is going to be huge. You'll see a thing, whatever it is, and you'll be like, this is the thing that's going to wake people up or freak people out, or no one's going to be able to stop talking about it, right? Different for all of us. But then, I don't know if this is a universal experience, but I think it is. Eventually, you get disappointed. You realize, oh, wow, this isn't as big of a story as it should be. People don't care as much as they should. Everyone's moved on, even though the thing isn't resolved. That's wild. And I didn't know that we would just stop caring about the drones that are flying over Jersey. That seems... Y'all, that seems like a big deal, and we just sort of let it go. Right? They still up there. I guess they don't need batteries, because they are still... It's wild. There are drones that were flying over Jersey, and they're loud. They're very high up, but they are so loud that people compare them to helicopters. And they've been flying over Jersey for a while now. And, we all kind of thought, okay, they'll tell us what that is eventually. Someone will know. Someone has to know. Because at first people thought it was kids. And then when they said that the drones were 6 feet wide, they were like, maybe they're rich kids. Maybe it's like... And then people... and then people started coming up with theories, because it was so loud, it was so disruptive, it's over residential areas, it was so random and everything, that people asked the government came out, and they were like, Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The government has never said, don't worry about it. Y'all, the government said, don't worry about it in American history. The government, I would honestly tell you to watch at least like one White House press conference, one like hour of C-SPAN. The most asinine, insane, minute questions get asked of the press secretary. And I'm not saying they always have a legitimate answer, but they always at least try to answer the thing in some capacity, no matter how dumb it is. They never say, don't worry about it. That's never been the tact that the U.S. government has taken. Don't worry about it. We shot a balloon immediately. Remember that balloon that we couldn't tell because none of the pictures looked clear enough if it was a child's balloon or if it was actually a spy balloon? But we shot it, I think, with a missile and said, that was a spy. That looked like China. We've still never fully confirmed that, by the way. No one has come out. China hasn't been like, we did send that balloon. That's our bad. We were feeling festive. We were playing. It's never happened. That is crazy. Don't worry about it. There are brown people just alive in other places and the government's worried about it. Like that, don't worry about it. That's crazy. So then people started to come up with their own theories, you know? People started to be like, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a foreign entity. I think it's a foreign entity doing reconnaissance. They're spying on us. It could be China, could be anybody. They're using these drones to spy on us. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe China sent a drone as loud as a helicopter with lights on it to spy on Tony's house. Like maybe there is a foreign government that has the money and the resources to send so many, it's like a bunch of them, so many drones over that can just stay up in the air forever and can evade when people try to like shoot them down and everything. Maybe a government has all the money and technology to do that, but they don't have Google Earth. Maybe. And some people think that's very dumb. Some people think, oh, that what an idiot. Who would think that? But you know what it's not dumber than? Don't worry about it. That's the dumbest thing a person could say. I want to make sure we all understand it. Don't worry about it. Y'all, I am so scared the government is out of money. Don't worry about it is the most broke parent thing to say. Yo, don't worry about it. When I was a kid, my dad drove, I think it was a 92 Corsica. And if you don't know what a Corsica is, you're doing great. Don't worry about it. But he drove this 92 Corsica, and the Corsica had a hole in the back on the floor. There was a hole. And one day I just went ahead and said something. I was like, hey, Dad, I know that you drive and I'm back here, so you up there a lot and I'm back here a lot, so you probably didn't know what was... I'm just letting you know what's going on back here because you always up there and I'm always back here. but there is a me-sized hole in the floor of the car. So just in case you ever pick me up and then you don't see me and you're like, I swear I just picked him up. Where is he? I probably went through the hole that's in the back of the car because there's a hole. I see the road and we are going fast. Like there's a lot. I thought we were going fast when I looked out the window. When you look through the hole, we're going light speed. Okay? So what are we gonna do about the me-sized hole in the back? And he was like, don't worry about it. And I was like, that's because we don't have resources. Okay. I had a babysitter one time that was making me some dinner, and you know, I don't know. I'm assuming that the babysitter could only cook what we had in the pantry, and I don't know what the ingredients were, but then when I was served the dish. You ever had something where you're like, should this be on a plate or in a bowl? Because it has enough girth to stand on its own. But it's soupy enough to need some collection, to need some guidance as a dish on where to be, you know? And so I asked my babysitter, I was like, what is this? And she was like, don't worry about it. And I was like, oh, okay. This is a broke meal. That's what's been cooked for me right now, is something that only happens when you have ingredients that cost 23 cents and you put them all together to make a full $2.25 meal. The only thing that you did to cook it was add heat, but you didn't cook. It's all hot. Broke ingredients together on a plate that should be a bowl. Because there's a lot of water running off the side. But don't worry about it, all right? Okay. No. I remember one time my shoulder was popping a lot. It was like just pop, and like I was like kind of a gangly kid to begin with. So like I don't know what I did, but it was just popping all the time. And I was like, "Hey, Dad, my shoulder is can you hear it? It's popping a lot. It's like popcorn. It's like it's going a lot. Like, does this ever happen to you?" And he was like, "No." I was like, "Should we go to like a doctor or something? Because like I just want to know, is it bad? It doesn't hurt, but it is popping a lot. It's moving. It doesn't want to be my shoulder anymore. Like it's moving all up in there while being kind of still, but like it's not pop. It doesn't hurt, but it's a lot of movement." And my dad was like, "Don't worry about it." And to this day, my shoulder pops quite a bit. So when the government tells you don't worry about it, it makes you worry about that specific thing. There are some people that think it's aliens. They think that is aliens that are trying to make contact and bolder than ever letting us know that they're here, that they're visiting. And okay. I don't think it's aliens because I just don't know if aliens I'm really not being disparaging when I say this. I'm just being honest. If you cross dimensions, I don't know if Jersey would be the first stop. And that's... And I know people from Jersey, and they will tell you if I cross dimensions, I'm probably hitting up, Cairo. I'm hitting up someplace that's a bit more exotic, But mostly I just hope it's not aliens. I hope that it's not aliens because we as humans this isn't the time to visit us. Like, this is, do you know what I mean? Like, we not putting our best foot forward as humanity to get visitors right now. Do you know what I mean? Like aliens coming to see us now would be the equivalent of me coming to see you at 4 a.m. It's like, you're just not at your best. You like kind of have morning breath, but kind of not. Like, it's just, it's bad. No, I don't think aliens would. If aliens are going to come, they should have done it either 30 years ago or 100 years from now. I think that humanity is not. We're not good for visiting right now. You know what I mean? Like, mainly because we're the only species. Every other species of everything on the planet, every other species of animal is doing their best to evolve. They're trying to go in the direction that forwards the species that, do you know what I mean? That they will still be around, hopefully. In spite of us, by the way. They're doing everything that they can to still be. Frogs! Frogs have the sense. There will be a frog off by itself doing something weird that the other frogs are like, don't go over there. Don't, like, that's not gonna help. That's not helpful at all. And the frog will be doing something like jumping upside down or whatever, like just bouncing upside down over and over again. And the other frogs are like, don't mess with that. Because they know it doesn't help. They don't look at that frog and go, he just asking questions. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he a free thinker. That's what that is. That's why he jumping upside down. Why y'all all jumping right side up like some sheep frogs? Why don't you start bouncing upside down for no reason? See if that doesn't do something to your mind. No. They're like, that's not gonna be helpful. And let's all just kind of get that out of the gene pool as best as possible. No, we're not serious at all. It's painful. Genuine. And I'm not just talking about like Americans, by the way. Like, we're so self-referential sometimes that it's like any critique of humanity sometimes sounds like I'm just critiquing I'm talking about people, all of us, planet Earth. All of us, we're not doing the things that would take to make a better world for us, you know? Everywhere you go, it's happening. I don't know if you was seen it. It was in Peru. In Peru, there was a drug bust. There was a drug bust where the national police raided this drug house, and who knows if it was like a crack house or a drug warehouse or a kingpin's lair or whatever, but it's where the drugs were. And the head cop, top cop that's leading the charge, leading the raid, led the raid dressed as the Grinch. That's unfair to everybody in this situation, all right? That's not right. Imagine, you in there. You deal drugs, you cook drugs, whatever, but you putting the drugs in a little baggie. And then you hear a boom, boom. Somebody has knocked down your door. And you look up. And it's the Grinch. And you think to yourself, actually, you know what? Actually, I do have a sinus infection. No, I do have a sinus infection. I have a sinus infection, and I've been blowing my nose all day, and I've been, like, taking the Mucinex and everything, but, like, I have a sinus infection, and then, you know, my nose has been a little runny, too, and then when it's runny, you don't want to gross out your coworkers and everything, and so you do a little, and I must have what we making, because that's the only way that it makes sense that the Grinch and the police are here together at the same time. I must have accidentally did what we doing in here to be seeing the Grinch and the police at the same time. Because he didn't just run up in there as the Grinch. This dude, he had the battering ram, and then he goes in. After they break down the door, he goes in and then dropped the battering ram too. Unarmed, just came in character like the great. This man came in high knees, just. This man came in high kneeing like the Grinch. That's unfair to the police officers doing the raid, because imagine you about to raid this house, right? And you don't know what could be in there. If they got drugs in there, they might got money in there. And if they have money in there, then they probably got some weapons in there to protect that money, protect those drugs from other gang members or just from the police, right? So you are about to risk your life going in. You fit it up. You have the AR-15 and everything. You getting ready to go. But then ahead of you, your leader is going in dressed like the Grinch. And then he battered the door down and run in. You got to run after him and make sure not to accidentally shoot him while he over here high kneeing in front of everybody, moving all crazy. Because they did everything like you would normally see in a raid, like get on the ground, everything. But then the Grinch. Sometimes people try to get in character, and I don't think they understand the character, because I need to listen to it again, admittedly, but I swear he was making noises that the Grinch doesn't make. So then they were like, get on the ground, get on the ground, and then he was like, it's like, that's not in there though. That's not in the movie. That's not in the book. What is that? That's not, you're not even speaking Spanish or anything, just it's like, in what work? Because you can tell, even as they getting arrested, they're like, but is he with y'all? Like, no, I'm getting on the ground. I'm asking though. Like, he's just moving all weird in here. Like, what is that? I'm getting on the ground. I'm just saying. You know, you see a country like Peru. I don't know the drug laws. I don't know the sentences that crimes like that carry, but I can tell you honestly right now that they subjected those people to cruel and unusual punishment because they caught them, right? And then I think the three main ones, they made them take their mug shot with the Grinch. And it's like, what other reason could there be other than to ruin a person's life? To completely diminish all street credibility than to make them take a mug shot with the grit. They over here, and I'm sure they didn't answer any questions, because if you can Google this, look at the picture later, you see them in the picture being like, Like, why he over here? Like, the police never take a picture with us. It's 3 of them lined up holding. And then the Grinch over here taking poses. Looking all proud. Because it seems very dangerous to like go in there, battering ram, and run up in there as the Grinch, but maybe it's not. Maybe he knew that if you run up in there as the Grinch, people so confused that they don't fire right away. They literally like. You see the Grinch, right? No, we're not a serious people. Not at all. No. It's okay. I've been very excited to come back to Portland because I came here in February for some shows, and normally when you do comedy, you go places like once a year, because usually when you go somewhere, the place you went to is like, that's enough. We get it. We get what you do. Give us some time. But I was able to come back, so soon, and I love being here. I love doing shows here and everything. I love coming to Portland because y'all don't wait. You hit people with Portland as soon as they land. Like, it's like. I landed in Portland, and my Uber driver to the hotel told me everything. It's the whole backstory. It was a lot. Okay, so top, right? So he basically was in a relationship, then married, and is now divorced from, apparently, the devil. And so then. So him and Satan, they still share a child, a cat, and a timeshare. And sharing all these 3 things with Lucifer has really made it difficult. It's made his life very hard. And I was listening to all of the woes of each thing, like the child, the cat, the timeshare, and I was like, oh, okay, well, if I'm being honest, you only really gotta love like 2 of those. You know what I mean? Like the timeshare. The whole point of a timeshare is that sometimes you're there and sometimes you're not. So like, just be there when the devil's not there, and then let the devil have it sometimes, because that was always what was gonna happen. The cat, look, I know you love the cat, and the cat loves you, and Satan's in the way. But I promise you, if you get a cat that look like that cat, it'll be like having that cat. I can almost guarantee. I'm not saying every cat is the same. I'm just saying that a lot of cats, when he described the cat to me, he was like, oh, she likes to cuddle sometimes, and she sleeps most of the day. And I was like, that's cat. If you can get one that look just like her, you'll feel like she there. You don't even have to clone her. That is a cat, up and down. That's everything you just described is everything I've ever known a cat to do. So, little standoffish sometimes, likes to sleep a lot, climbs a little bit. Yep, you have a cat, sir. No need to share custody on this one. Just get an extra cat, and then that way, if you have 2 cats, actually, you know what y'all need to do? Y'all need to reverse parent trap this thing. You get a cat that look exactly like that cat, and you put them in a room together, and then you just shake the door a little bit, and then when you open the door, you each just grab a cat, and I guarantee you, it'll be like having that cat, right? And then it's like a Schrodinger's cat, because you won't know if the cat is the cat or if the cat is your cat. And you can just enjoy life with your cat that's yours in your head or not. Who knows? No one cares. The cat won't care. I guarantee you, the cat does not care. This whole custody battle over the cat, sometimes it's at your place, sometimes it's at hell with Satan. That whole thing is nothing to the cat. The cat is like, I'm a nap regardless, right? The child, yes, that is rough, to be fair. That is very rough. You share a child with someone that you can't stand, and if anything, I think that y'all should probably really figure out your differences, because you seem to have so much anger, and from the story that you're telling me, the devil also has a lot of burning fire, anger towards you, and I don't know. I mean, the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. If you really didn't care, you would know that you've fully fallen out of love with this person, but because you still have so much passion involved, you should really check in on that, because that's something that you got to be careful, because what if in all that passion maybe y'all rekindle a little bit because you care so much, and then what if you accidentally just in a fit of passion y'all make another kid? That would be like the cat thing but worse, because the cat thing is a solution. 2 kids with someone that you hate is a big problem. That's double the problem, right? And so then, I guess he wasn't really trying to hear what I was saying, but I only said any of that stuff because I was like, if you tell me your whole life, I thought that you would want some notes on what was going on. I didn't think that you would tell me your whole life and then just be expecting me to. You might as well talk to yourself when you're in the car alone. If you don't expect me to respond to any of it, so then I just laid it all out for him the way that I saw it, Go ahead and let the devil share your timeshare and everything. Go ahead and get another cat. Make sure you figure out the problem so that you can raise this child in a healthy environment. And I don't know if I rubbed him the wrong way or something, but he was like, hey, we've been here. You can get out at any point. And to be fair, we had been at my destination for 15 minutes. I was just sort of in the car chopping it up with him because honestly, we got to my hotel during the timeshare portion. So the cat and the kid was just, I was trying to get my thoughts out real quick, and he was like, yeah, but I do, this is my job, and I'm trying to leave, right? And I was like, all right, but I just thought that maybe it would be helpful. Yeah. I thought it would help, to let you know. And hey, you a good person and everything. You clearly an open person. You told me everything, and you don't know me at all, and you don't know who I'll tell. And so the idea that you're so trusting is both a pro and a con of being in relationships, because it's you're trusting enough to pour out your heart to a total stranger, but also sometimes that trust can either be betrayed or misused, which is what it sounds like the devil did to you according to your story and everything. And he was like, I can get your suitcase for you if you need
Mira,